just for a moment, allow me to take you back in time. On the 5th of September, 1977, mankind achieved something truly remarkable. The launch of NASA's space probe, Voyager 1. Traveling at a speed of 61,500 kilometers an hour for the last 45 years and counting, this mere 722 kilogram robotic spacecraft remains the most distant human-made object from Earth today. Back in 1990, Voyager 1 completed its primary mission of leaving the outer solar system and started its journey into interstellar space. But at the request of the late great astronomer and author Carl Sagan, Voyager 1 turned its camera around and took one last photo of Earth across the great expanse of space. Sagan acknowledged that such a picture would have little scientific value, as the Earth would appear too small for Voyager's cameras to make out any detail. But it would be meaningful as a perspective on humanity's place in the universe. This is the photo that was taken, and that pale blue dot, 6 billion kilometers away, is Earth. In response to this photo, Sagan had this to say.
That's here. That's home. That's us. On it, everyone you love, everyone you know, everyone you ever heard of, every human being who ever was, lived out their lives. The aggregate of our joy and suffering, thousands of confident religions, ideologies, and economic doctrines, every hunter and forager, every hero and coward, every creator and destroyer of civilization, every king and peasant, every young couple in love, every mother and father, hopeful child, inventor and explorer, every teacher of morals, every corrupt politician, every superstar, every supreme leader, every saint and sinner in the history of our species lived there, on a mote of dust, suspended in a sunbeam.
And that's the reality. That tiny little insignificant spot of stardust is our home. We only have one home. And right now, as we're all too familiar with, our home is in trouble. Undoubtedly, two words come to mind now. Two nasty little words that have had a big impact on the doomsday media as of late.
Let's talk about climate change.
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 Climate change. Climate change. And that is climate change.
That's right, climate change. Okay, I know. I get it. I know we're all tired of hearing this. Climate change is happening, it's big, it's scary, it's causing global warming, it's the end of the world, and we're all going to die. Old news, right? I know we've heard it all before. I know we're all tired of hearing it. There just seems to be so much bad news in the media today. Such overall pessimism, gloom, despair, weariness, despondency, hopelessness, hate. Take your pick of the word. Put simply, the future looks bleak. There is so much happening, and with so many distractions in the world today, climate change just feels like a far-flung, forgotten nightmare. We keep ourselves purposefully ignorant about it. We've adapted the whole attitude of, well, if we don't think about it, it'll probably go away. And I don't blame us. It's hard being human. I get it. Most days, I struggle to get out of bed in the morning and get through a functional and productive day in one piece, let alone trying to swallow this monster reality check pill that is climate change, and then try and come up with productive ways to solve this beast of a problem without losing hope completely and sinking into a black pit as I await my imminent and unavoidable death.
And death.
Okay, yes, a bit dramatic perhaps, but all I'm saying is I get it. I get it. I do. The whole world just seems to be turning its back on us. And as we all know,
when the world turns its back on you, you turn your back on the world.
But no. When the world turns its back on you, you grab it by the shoulder, spin it around, pick it up, give it a good shaking, and then set it back down again, good as new. Yes, the world is bleak. It's bleak and backwards, barbaric, bloody, biased, beaten, battered, bruised, and broken. But it's also breathtakingly beautiful. It's not perfect, but it's home. Remember that pale blue dot? That's all we have. To quote legendary singer and songwriter Tim Minchin,
Isn't this enough? Just this world? Just this beautiful, complex, wonderfully unfathomable natural world?
Look, I'm going to be honest with you. When I started out writing the script for this video, I had a very different idea about how to approach it. I thought, hey, why not make a video explaining what climate change is and the impact it's having on our planet? Education is the best way to spark change in people, right? So, I started. Greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, including water vapor, carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrous oxide, absorb heat energy and emit it in all directions, keeping Earth's surface and lower atmosphere warm. Adding more greenhouse gases to the atmosphere enhances this effect, making the Earth's surface and lower atmosphere even warmer. But then I realized, we know all this. At least a very large majority of us do. I know my generation has had this drilled into them since primary school. And if not, who am I kidding? I'm not a climatologist. I'm no expert. Who am I to try and make an educational video on climate change? There are so many better resources out there that would be of more help to people. Who am I to try educate people about ways to further prevent the damages caused by global warming and other increasing dangers brought about by climate change, when I don't always have the motivation to do it myself? Using less single-use plastic, saving electricity, turning off water, keeping our local areas and beaches clean, investing in sustainable green energy. We all know this stuff. I know it, and I know you know it. We all know what the problem is. People like Greta Thunberg, Vandana Shiva, and David Attenborough, they've all explained it to us. We know how to solve the problem. We can read the signs. We know we're in danger. So, why aren't we doing anything about it? And then it hit me. Humanity doesn't have an education problem. Well, let me rephrase that. It doesn't have an education problem when it comes to climate change, at least for the most part. It has an attitude problem, specifically a lack of motivation. So, that's what this video is. Ladies and gentlemen, and all you other fabulous earthlings out there, at the start I showed you this image and played you Carl Sagan's message in hopes of doing just that. In hopes of sparking motivation. I started out by stating, look how far humanity has reached, and I meant it. We've made it to the stars and beyond. As of today, the 20th of September 2022, Voyager 1 is currently 23.5 billion kilometers away. Isn't that spectacular? I know the day-to-day hustle and bustle of everyday life takes so much out of us, but there's no point in working hard every day for a future that might not even happen. We have to stop and think about the bigger picture, and we can do this in the smallest of ways. Finding the little things each and every one of us can do every day to start making a difference. If we work together, a lot of those little differences will get us a long way. American cultural anthropologist Margaret Mead had this to say: "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has." For me, changing the world means sorting out the recycling on a Sunday evening when I'd rather be in bed. It means saving any leftover colourful paper I have to reuse for the next art project. It means wrapping any birthday presents with newspaper instead of buying wrapping paper. It means putting effort into finishing this English assignment when I should probably be studying for another subject. For my 76-year-old grandmother, changing the world means going for a walk with her dog at least 2 times a day to clean up the garbage, either at the beach or in her complex's park. She's 76 years old. What does changing the world mean to you? If my silly little video can inspire just one person to take one change towards benefiting our future, it will have been worth it. To use the words of American public speaker and debater Matt Dillahunty,
"A perfect world's probably impossible, but a better world is definitely possible. And a better world is attained by aiming for the best possible world."
I want the next generation of Earthlings and the generation after that, and all the generations to come, to have the chance to look at this photograph too, this little tiny pale blue dot, and say to themselves, "Wow, look how far we've come." What do you want? What kind of future are you hoping for? And what's keeping you from helping achieve it? Take it away, Sagan.
There is perhaps no better demonstration of the folly of human conceits than this distant image. To me, it underscores our responsibility to deal more kindly with one another and to preserve and cherish the pale blue dot, the only home we've ever known.